Hello there, my friends. Amy Friese reporting to you today on the evening of Monday, September the 16th, 2013, for a second video installation of my Ironman Wisconsin video journey. So today I am talking to you today about the bike section of Ironman Wisconsin and specifically how it went for me. I have done a swim video and will be doing a running video as well, just to share with you what to expect, how it went for me, and any tips or tricks or insights or secrets that I can give you. So I'm wearing the jersey that I wore for race day. Here, I'll stand up, show you. Check this out. New Glarus. Okay, for those of you that aren't from Wisconsin, New Glarus is one of the best breweries ever. I'm a fan of their Blacktop, which is a black IPA, and that is where and when my husband bought this jersey for me. So I wore this on Ironman Day and very happy about that, and to represent, and I literally, okay, don't throw up, please don't throw up, literally was wrapped in love because this was purchased by my husband. Okay, commence non-vomiting. Okay, so anyway, so this is how it went. So we got got out of the water into transition, got my bike gear on, and I wore biking shorts. I did not wear tri-shorts. The part of the body that sits on the seat, I affectionately like to call it the lady garden, prefers biking shorts versus tri-shorts. So that's what I went with, and I experimented, and it worked perfectly. So I go out of transition, run across the way onto the parking ramp, which felt like a very long way. So my number was 685, and oh gosh, I don't even know what number it started, but you come out in the middle and you either go to the right or to the left. I went to the left, and it kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going. But the thing that's nice is the volunteers, and thank you so much, volunteers. You guys totally rock. They call it your number because you have a little sticker on your helmet, and it's written on your body, or on your arms, I should say, and on your leg. And they give you your bike. They go, here you go, here's your bike. Have fun riding. And I say, thank you! And I grab a bike, and you get onto the mount section, and then you go down the helix, which is a parking structure descent. So I was nervous about it initially. No problem. On for 112 miles of sheer and utter bliss through the countryside and a little bit of the urban area of Madison, Wisconsin, and Verona, and Mount Horeb, and lots of other awesome hilly places. So, you know, I looked at the ascent and descent in the maps and the topographical areas of the Ironman Wisconsin course, and I counted 14 hills. Now, anyone else can count whatever they want. I counted 14 because all I knew is that in my mind, all I had to do was ride 14 hellish hills, and then I would be finished. So my strategy was take it pretty easy on the first stick. So, okay, so the Madison course goes stick, loop, loop, stick, okay? So 16, 40, 40, 16. Took it easy on the way out, took it easy on the first loop because you're excited, you're on the bike, you're not in the swim anymore, and woo, you have the run to look forward to. It was hard to hold back, I'll be totally honest. There were parts that were just beautiful, and during training we would just take them pretty quickly, and so then I would have memories of riding with my friends and just wanting to let loose, especially on the flats. You just want to go! Which I decided not to do this time. So this being my first Ironman, you know, I mean, not only did I have the goal of finishing, but I really wanted to be conservative and hold back so that I knew what to expect. Turns out that, I don't want to say I held back more than that's not the word. I learned that I could push harder. That's a good way to look at it, because to second guess yourself after race day, when the first time you're doing a race never helps. So there are some pretty good hills on that first stick. I will never, and I will always remember the first time I did the loop and thinking, oh my God, you want me, who has no protection whatsoever except for this helmet on my head, to go down that hill and then go back up the other side and then do it again? let's just say you can go at least 30, if not 40 to 50 miles an hour down some of these hills. And you have to learn how to technically get back up them. So this is what I've learned, and this is what I did on race day. You pedal like a banshee going down the hills, and you turn down the hills so that when you shift the gears into smaller gear, you can get up that hill with as much momentum as possible. Now, I have to tell you that I rode Ironman Wisconsin in this entire training season on a road bike, on a Schwinn fastback road bike. Okay? Yes, I had air bars. It was not a fancy bike by any means. It was not the lightest bike. It was not the most expensive bike. But you know what? It was my bike. Simone and I, we did A-okay. I did use clipless shoes. So I clipped into my pedals so that not only can I push down, but I pull up. I always wore my helmet when I was on. I ended up wearing sleeves, white sleeves that reflected off any sun. But it also kept me warm and then absorbed any sweat that came off. And so it didn't, it helped me so I didn't get any like rubbing from my aero bars, which doesn't typically, rubbing, it's the pressure because you're on your bike. You know, I was on my bike, it turned out, I want to say about 7.5 hours. So it was a long time on the bike. So that first stick and that first loop went fantastic. My brain was in a place where I found myself saying the words, oh my goodness, this is easy. Who can say that riding 56 miles on a Madison course? Wow. Then you get into the second loop and then this starts kicking in. I like to call it the monkey chatter. Okay, Amy, do you have what it takes? Can you do this? Are you going to make it in time? What if you run out of time? What if you get a flat? What if someone hits you? What if you get a... And I decided to ignore it. There's one hill, and honest to God, I'm really not the best at remembering all the names of the hills, not important. The one that just got newly paved this year. I'm going to leave that up to you to figure it out. You go down, and there's some turns. A gentleman was talking to me and asked me, hey, do you know when the cutoff is? And I said, I know. And I told myself was if I'm in my shoes running by 5 o'clock, I'm golden. So that's what I told him. And then I also gave him the very stern, loving advice to just keep pedaling. And then I took off because I couldn't let myself go to that place, because then after that I started doing math going, okay, if I'm averaging 15 miles an hour, yes, I average 15 miles an hour, when am I going to get finished? Okay, so 70. So there was a long time on the bike where I thought that 70 plus 30 equaled 110. I don't know. You just get a little bejeebers out of it, a little crazy. But I much like the swim, I came to the conclusion, and this is what I honest to God decided. You know what, Aim? Give it all you got. Do your best. Stick to your plan. Drink your water. Drink your power. Every 10 minutes, alternate. Eat your food. Gel. Eat your bong breakers. Eat your bananas. Eat your sandwich. Keep going. Take a break when you need to. Give it everything you got. And if you don't finish, it's okay. As long as you leave it all out here in the course, you have succeeded. And I let it go because I had to. Because if I kept thinking that and kept washing that through my brain, I would have gone crazy. I would have driven myself nuts. So halfway through the first loop, I thought, this isn't so easy anymore. Once I get into mile 70. I have to mention too that on that first loop, there, the very last hill, they call it the Tour de France hill, I think. I call it the Emery Hill, where they are very mean and cruel people making grilled food and drinking beer and taunting me. But thank God my friend and coach Dave met me at the bottom of the hill and ran up with me with this grin on his face again. He said, and I quote, "Payback's a bitch, ain't it?" Because, I don't know, his last Ironman I ran up one of the hills with him. So, yeah. I don't want to say Payback's a bitch, but it was really good to see him, and it was super awesome that he ran up there, up that hill with me, because not only was it nice to see him run, but it was incredibly encouraging. He told me that I was looking good, I had a good smile on my face, my energy was up, I had good cadence. That was awesome. And I would like to give a hug to the Stoltmans, again, for taunting me with that beer. That worked! I'm going to get you next year, Scott Stoltman. You just wait. I'm going to be on that same hill. So, but I have had my beer since then. But anyway, okay, so that was on the first loop. But halfway through the second loop, it was getting challenging. My legs were starting to get fatigued. My shoulders and my traps were okay, but my left wrist started to get very tender and kind of swollen because I was an arrow, right? So I'm kind of like this, a little bit turned that way. So I would roll it out. My knees were not staying right in line with my pedals. I started to kind of bow them out a little bit, and so then that was making my legs feel a little bit funny, and I can't honestly remember what funny meant at this point, but I just remember going, ooh, that just feels a little weird. My right knee was starting to get a little bit sore, and oh, Lord have mercy, on that stick, the last 16 miles, my left foot and a little bit of my right foot was like, you know when something goes numb but it hurts, and I would unclip it and kind of shake it out, but my feet just weren't happy in my shoes. And I've had that sensation before, but not to the extent that I had it that day. I'm not quite sure why. And I don't want to say necessarily that it was super painful. It was incredibly uncomfortable and unnerving. And I wanted to finish. So not only had I made that promise to myself that I was going to give it all I had and leave it on the course, and whatever happened I would take, but I knew I would be okay. Like, nothing physically said to me, Amy, you need to be careful, you need to take a step back. My heart rate was okay, my breath was okay. I went to the bathroom probably 3 times. So everything was all right. So I knew I could still push through that. I did end up pushing the stick faster. I don't know, maybe my average was up to 16. But, you know, whenever I would train, especially when Jody and I would, Jody's my husband, whenever we'd ride together and we get like on the turnaround and we get back home, my body and my brain clicks, home, shower, food, rest, and I just go. So it was really cute, actually. I saw 3 of my friends, and I only actually saw one of them, but I was coming down one of the last very straightaways onto the stick, and I remember going, hey, that looks like Deb, and I was like, hey, Deb, and she's like, oh my God, Amy, and Stacy and Nicole were right there, and that's just a testament that Deb told me I had really picked up the tempo on that last end, so that was very good and very reassuring to know. But on the stick then, I knew I was home stretch. I mean, I knew I'd be fine on the bike when I finally got math right, because 80 plus 30 equals 110, by the way, not 70 plus 30, that I would get back there in plenty of time before 5 o'clock, and then I just pushed it. But on the stick then, when I got on John Nolan, it was like, oh my God, I'm so close. And there were not a lot of people on the course anymore, and there were not that many bikes there, which was a little discouraging, and who cares? Who cares, right? So got back in, and 2 times going up the hill at the beginning of the first loop, my chain fell off twice going up a hill. So I had to stop, put the chain back on. Thank God it didn't break, and then proceed uphill. That's always a character builder. I decided not to be embarrassed. I was just happy that my bike was broken. But then that one thing happened again on the helix, right on the way up the helix. And I was like, seriously? And I just had to laugh, because I was like, well, who cares? I mean, like, if I had to run my bike up the helix, I was that close. So I just put it back on, laughed out loud to myself, got off Simone, which is my bike again, right? At the dismount area, ran my bike in, and then I heard, wife! And there was my husband. I told him to not come until later in the day, and there he was at the perfect place. So he was along the side of the Monona Terrace, and I was distracted to see him, and then I saw the volunteers, and I was like, I just wanted to take my bike over to say hi to him, and they're like, no, no, no. So the volunteers took my bike, and I ran over to Jody and gave him a big hug and kiss and took a picture, and he posted that on Facebook, so that was very cool that everyone got to see that, yay, I was alive and well, and I made it in from the bike. So I only had one more event to do. I only had a marathon to run. Oh, Lord have mercy. So that was it. So the bike portion was good. My legs were wobbly getting off the bike, because you're using a lot of hip flexors, a lot of quadriceps, then the glutes and the hamstrings get called upon for running, especially up some hills. So took it kind of tentative off that bike when it's transitioned and got ready for the run. So all in all, the bike, spot on. But I was ready to be off the bike at about mile 90. Okay, maybe 80. Okay, maybe 75. But you know what? I kept going. So that's what I would recommend that you do too. Leave it on the course. But that's it for the bike section of the Ironman Wisconsin course and what my experience of it was, my friends. I hope you gleaned some information, some good helpful tips. If not, however, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook or on Twitter. Amy Friese, AMYFRIESE, or you can shoot me an email at fearlessnutritionllc@gmail.com. Or on my website, which is fearlessnutritionllc.com. Heck, you can even call me at my office, which is 414-312-7076 to reach me personally. All right, my friends, well, until we talk again and you tune in for that run section of this video trifecta, remember to eat smart, move strong, and live fearless. And just keep pedaling, my friends, through anything. All right, we'll talk to you again soon. Amy Friese checking out. Take care. Bye-bye.